Welcome to Rhythms That Restore. I'm your friend Cherisse that's ready to journey beside you. Let's learn rhythms that can restore our minds, hearts, bodies, and spirits, and allow us to walk confidently in who God has called us to be. Are you ready? Pull up a chair. Let's get started. Hey everyone, happy new year. We are 3 weeks into 2025 already, January 16th. I can't even believe this. And I am so excited and grateful to have my friend Denise Parmely from Selmer, Tennessee on to share her story and her wisdom. And you guys, Denise and I have known each other for over 20 years and have done a lot of life together. And Denise and I were, we'll call it chatting over social media. And Denise had done a really insightful post, you guys. And I said, okay, we have to talk about this on the podcast because I felt like I struggle with this. And I know that many other people struggle with it. And I think as we're launching into a new year, that the subject of contentment is not something that typically we talk about at the beginning of the year. You know, typically in the beginning of the year, we're all like setting our goals and like, what do we want to do and what do we want to achieve and what do we want to have? And so when Denise had talked about this on social media, I thought, wow, let's bring this to the forefront and talk about what would it look like to start 2025 with contentment and peace. Like, can we all even soak that up, right, Denise?
Right.
Yes. So sorry, that was the big opening. But welcome to the podcast and thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to be on your podcast. I love your podcast and listen to it every week.
Thank you. Well, let me tell everybody a little bit about you so they'll know some background about our relationship and background in your story. So Denise lives in Selmer, Tennessee, and has been married to Kevin for 26 years, who she says is the most amazing, supportive husband ever. She is the mother of 2 grown and out of the house children, Taylor and Tanner, who were like 2 and 4 when I met you and running around your house. Yes. So it's so hard to believe that they are married and out of the house already. Yeah. They also both, didn't they get married very close together?
They did. They were both married within 3 years. They're 3 years apart and they got married 3 years apart. They actually both got married at the same age.
Oh my goodness.
They both got married at 22 years old.
Oh, yeah. So 2 weddings within 3 years. That's exciting.
In 3 years. Yes.
Yeah. We're going to ask you some more questions about that. Denise she's also been a 26-year entrepreneur and has mentored me for many, many years. She's also a health and fitness coach on the side, and where she teaches 2 classes a week in the evenings and mentors women to make better life and health choices. She is in a new season of life which I was telling her, so many of us that are listening, we are all in new seasons of life. But she's in a new season of life where she is a full-time employee for the first time in 20 years, which is a huge change, I know, but also a new season for you and Kevin. You guys are empty nesters. I mean, so much newness, and we're going to talk more about that too. So I'm excited too in this new year to get some wisdom from you on the health and fitness side, not only for our bodies and our minds and our brains, but also because I know that you're a huge Dave Ramsey fan and an advocate for. And so I'm like, okay, y'all, it is January. We also need some financial fitness in that area, right?
Yes.
So Denise, tell us a little bit more too about how, because I know that they probably play hand in hand. So a little bit more about your story too. You had told us over this last decade, you were telling me that it's really been a roller coaster of learning. And I think for many of us, if we look back on our lives, we might say that, but you have had you've had businesses, opening a business, closing a business because of COVID. So tell us about really where the Lord's had you in the last decade.
Well, not only has he had me, of course, going from raising children to now being an empty nester, like you said, and just watching them create their own life with their people, and just it's a fabulous place to be. So I want to give all the mamas that are not at that season in their life yet just this just wait. I just want to say, just you wait. It is amazing to see your children be grown and make decisions, and pick their life partner, and pick their jobs and go to school, and so I've just am so blessed that both of my children have just amazed me. I don't deserve them. They're great human beings, and so I'm just in awe I'm getting emotional. Look at me. I'm just in awe of how wonderful my children are. So I've done a great job raising them. But I did work from home, most of all of their, raising them. And my husband has always worked the same place. We're just creatures. We love to do the same thing. Okay. Lived in the same house. We built this house when we were engaged. We've lived in the same house, same town. So anyway, I knew that I needed something else. However, a few years ago, and I opened a different retail business, and it flourished and did so well for so many years. And then COVID, and I don't want to blame anything on COVID, but things changed after COVID. They really did in that retail space. And I changed, and I just went through a lot of I can't explain the anxiety that I had, but I had this overwhelming daily anxiety that I just needed to go home. Whatever, I needed to go home. But I loved this business. I had created this business. It needed me, I had responsibilities to it. And I had a business coach, a lady. Anyway, I got with a business coach, and she asked me a question that really changed how I look at everything from that point on. She said to me, "What keeps you up at night?" And I don't know if anyone has ever asked me that question before. What keeps you up at night? What's weighing heavy on you? What's the thing that you can't let go of? What's the thing not giving you peace? And at that point, it was that business. I knew that I loved it. You know how you pray for that? Please let this work. Please let this, what do I got to do? I was praying for the wrong things. I was asking God to help me keep it when I knew right then I needed to let it go. And so I kind of gave myself a brand of, I'm the queen of saying, it's time to let it go. That's a big deal in our lives, especially when you have commitments and businesses, and you're seen in the community a certain way, or you have expectations put upon you for certain things, either how you look or say, or whatever it is. And so I have journeyed through the process of just being more at peace by making decisions that serve me and that align me, versus what's it going to look like to make that decision? What's it going to look like to other people to, make these decisions? So anyway, I have not had that business. This would be 2 full years without that business. And so I said I was going to give myself a year at home and just give myself a year, see really truly what God's leading me to. And he led me to wanting to work in an office, to actually work for someone after 20 something years of only working for myself. And I really enjoy it. I can't say, it's different. I've only been there 6 months, but I'm enjoying it, and I'm enjoying a paycheck. I'm enjoying that. And I love teaching workout classes. I know you said that. It's something that I have done for 20 something years. I have done it on the side, and I think I just love, I love health. I love fitness. I love being somebody for women that don't really know where to go. Like I don't know what to do. I've been, they have questions. I don't really know who to ask, and they were taught to somebody. And I know that I have been that person here in my community to, lead people, lead women to make better choices, health and fitness. And I just love my classes. So.
And that's kind of just a natural part of who you are. I mean, having a business or multiple businesses as you have, you always love to mentor women specifically. And so I think that that's very natural that you mentor women in business, but that you would also mentor them in health and life goals, because they really do go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. And so it's just natural. And you've built all these relationships among women for that many years, and you've sat with them, about themselves and their family and their spiritual growth and this and that. So it's a really very natural fit that they would come to you for a whole, like, well-rounded life.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I love speaking into other people, because I have had seasons, of where I wasn't working out and I was gaining weight, I can relate to. I'm just me, I'm just a normal person. I'm not an influencer, and I'm not a select, I'm just this normal average, well, I really don't consider myself average. I really do think of myself as above average, because I strive to be. I'll be honest with you. I strive to better myself. I strive to, be in the 5 o'clock club or whatever it is. I like to check off lists. I like to achieve. I like to, eat a certain way to achieve a certain goal. So, I mean, that's just how I'm wired. And I believe that when people see that you're that way, they want to be that. They want to know, what are you doing? What are you doing? And it's just working on yourself. I just do the things. I do the things that work, that make me better. I try to do the things that are just the things that make me better. We've been on such a journey, my husband and I. The last 2 or 3 years, it's just been us, because Tanner's just got married this summer, but he was in college for 4 years. And so we've been on a super health journey, like foods that are good for you, clothing that's good for you. We've swapped everything out from our water. Like it's just been, and when you do those things, you feel so good about yourself. Like, I don't know, it does it. I feel like it puts me, I don't know. I feel
it does. It puts you in a totally different frame of mind, because what you consume in every sense of the word, what you put in, you get out.
absolutely.
Right. We've heard that with our brains and with our body too.
And we've always been, I know you said something about Dave Ramsey. I always have been a huge Dave Ramsey fan. I've known about Dave Ramsey for 20-something years. The whole time that I have been an entrepreneur, I have used Dave Ramsey as sort of like a guide for financial. But there's times that I'm Dave Ramsey, and then what he calls an ish. And so there's a lot of ish years where I'm not budgeting, and I'm just like, well, as long as we're not going into debt, we're fine. Well, I found myself back in debt after many years, and back on the Dave Ramsey. So I have dove into deep, like I I took a whole month. I did a no spend September, where I was challenged myself. I couldn't spend any money, and I couldn't buy a tea. I couldn't buy a coffee out. We couldn't eat out. I couldn't shop. It liberates you. Like it changes the things that you just thought you needed, like all these little impulse or getting online. I would put stuff in carts. Don't get me wrong. I still shopped. I pretend shopped. It got in a cart. It just didn't get purchased. So I did a lot of pretend shopping, but at the end of it, I was like, look at all that money that I would have spent that I didn't. And that is really, I think, where God is telling me to be right now. He's telling me to be in a season of, live within your means. And I really want to tell other people, we don't have to impress anyone.
Mhm.
Like the clothes I have in my closet from last year, they're going to work fine for me this entire season. I promise you, I'm going to be fine if I don't buy a single new outfit for this entire, I don't need a new Nutcracker sweatshirt for Christmas that says something cute. I don't. I'm fine with the one last year that had a Christmas tree. So I'm just challenging myself to get this debt paid for, and I have my goals and I have my goal posters, and I know what I'm doing, and I'm working
Mhm.
hard towards it, and so I'm going to make Dave Ramsey proud. I want to make myself proud. I want
Yeah.
to get back to who I really am, which is, someone who doesn't go into debt. That's just not my values. I want to live within my means. I want
Mhm.
to be a little more humble. I just want to. I don't want to be flashy and have the newest, flashiest things. I guess I want to
Mhm.
tell people, especially younger people. I'm in the season where I'm speaking to a lot of younger women. You don't have to have a brand new car. And I've started a Rachel Cruz's Contentment journal, and it has really helped me because I've been coveting, a new kitchen and a new car for so long that daily I just thank God for my kitchen. I thank God for my car. It gets me where I need to go and back home. And when you thank God for those things, like the clothes I have in my closet, it just, you all of a sudden, you just feel horrible because I do anyway. I feel horrible. I'm even like sitting like, I want a new car. I can't believe she gets a new car and I don't get a new car. Um, it changes your perspective a little bit.
Yeah.
But I would highly recommend your listeners to get Rachel Cruz's Contentment Journal. It
Mm.
really, really has helped me. And I
I
try
love.
day. It's just something I feel is makes it just sets my day up. It gets me aligned. It gets me to where I feel like I'm a better person to handle whatever's going to happen the day, because we don't know what's going to happen in our day.
No.
I feel like it just sets me up to be able to, if I do have something hard come my way that day, I handle it a little bit better. I handle it through a little bit more grace because I've asked God for it,
Mm.
and I've uh, started
Yeah.
my that day with.
When you journal in the mornings, Denise, do you have like a format that kind of just helps you get your brain going? I know that you said it helps you feel centered, it helps you to kind of clear and helps you function at a higher level, but how do you start off when you're journaling?
I always start with the thankful, like what I'm thankful for, because I think someone said, imagine if God only gave you what you had thanked Him for that day.
Mm.
Oh, and that kind of got me in the gut, because I was like, okay, God, I'm thankful for. And I could go on, but He knows when I say my family, He knows that I'm talking about my kids and their people and my parents. Like
Yeah.
I just break it down, and so I do make sure, because I am in this season of contentment, I make sure that I stay my home,
Yeah.
and then that's encapsulating like that I have a home, this beautiful kitchen, the things even that I would like to change.
Mhm.
That doesn't mean I'm not going to eventually. I want a new kitchen. I mean, don't get me wrong. But it gives me a peace in the moment
Mm.
that doesn't have to happen right away, and I don't have to
Yeah.
go debt for it. I don't have to
Mm.
go take out another loan, and
No.
I can do it in my time, and it also helps me. Just the goal of the saving money for something and seeing a goal poster where you're reaching something, it's exciting.
It is. And that's such a good thing. I'm glad you brought it up because for some people, they're like, yes, of course, I'm going to do a goal poster. I'm going to do a vision board for the year. And some women and men are like, I've never even heard
But,
of this.
sure.
Yeah, they don't know. So, what could that even look like, Denise, if they wanted to do like a 2025 vision board, centering around contentment? What, and even these different areas of financial, fitness, health, what could that look like?
Well, I follow a lady. Can I say her name? She's just a podcast lady,
Yeah.
Cherisse.
Yeah.
She's Christian. She calls herself a cheerleader of dreams. I mean, I followed many people, but she's my latest book that teaches. I think it's about dreaming big and goal setting. So she's my latest book. I really
What,
like that.
tell us her name again.
Terry Savelle Foy.
Okay.
She's just a Christian. She calls herself a cheerleader of dreams. She's so cute too, by the way. She's big hair. She's from Dallas. Big hair, big personality, big make. I mean, like but she teaches you how to dream, and I believe that the very first thing was 10 things. You have to say 10 things every day. You have to pick just 10 things that are your goals for this year, for 2025. So I've already started that, like every single day in my journaling. My 10 goals. And then she'll help you break those down. It can't just be to lose weight. It's how much weight and by what day. Everything has to have, every goal has to be measurable. So you have, and it has to be realistic. Just like you can't say, I want to save $70,000 if that's all you make is $70,000. You have to have a realistic. So it could be, I want to save 10% of what I make, which would be $7,000 by. So I love the whole like understanding how to set a goal and understanding, and then you have to I put it on my my bathroom mirror because I'm getting ready every day in my bathroom. So and I always make it to where I can write on it, and I have a little pink ink pen that sits on it. It has like little pink ink pen. And so every time I either add to my goal savings, I add it on there, and I love seeing it. Could be weight loss. Got in the best shape of my life for my son's wedding, and I made a goal poster for that, and it was several weeks, and I had to do my body fat every single week and weigh in every single week on the same day, and I had to see that move. I couldn't have a week where I didn't see it move, or if I did have a week, it motivated me to do even better the next week. So I had to see things move. Like, I have to see it, and I needed to see this fitness, this weight loss take into effect and move. So I love goal setting and goal posters, and
seeing the progress, right?
Yes.
Right. When even a little progress is encouraging, right? Like for me, I'm like, just a tiny bit, just a tiny, give me a glimmer of hope, and I will keep.
I always say to the ladies that work out with me, I say, you need a win.
Yeah.
Everybody needs a win. Just find you a win. Let's find a win this week. And for some people, it won't be a pound. There won't be any weight. It needs to be, did you drink all your water today? But we need a win.
Yeah.
And I love daily wins, weekly win, whatever helps you, because that's what you need. If you need to tell yourself something daily, then you need a daily win. So it needs to be something like, I'm drinking all the water. Like we do. We need to focus sometimes more on what we can win at, and then that's going to eventually turn into a habit that just helps us get to bigger goals and achieve the bigger things that we want. Like, I want to pull the teen, and so, but the longer that I have talked about this goal that I've wanted, I don't know if I even want it that much anymore. And that's something that I kind of feel like, now that God's put me in a place of contentment, and He's really making me, sit back and see things. I'm starting to change my mind about some of the things that I thought I wanted so bad.
Right. We were talking earlier about when you're saying contentment. I think that so many times we can all try to put, well, I won't say for everyone else, I know I can do it. I'll try to put other things in a hole in my heart that really is only meant for the Lord to fix or to be inside of. And so I think that really does kind of like allow us to step back and be like, hold on, if I'm coming from a place of peace, and if I'm coming from a place of contentment, and I really look at everything that God has given me, do I really need what this is? Or is this thing that I'm yearning for, wanting, striving for, is it trying to fill a void?
Yeah. Like we were saying earlier, it needs to align with who you are. And sometimes we're out of alignment and we don't even realize that whatever it is that we're doing or wanting, it's not really in line with us. It's not really in line. And that's just like with the business that I shut down. It was something that I wanted to make work. that I knew that it was not, and I was putting myself in more of a strain, more stress, more. I wasn't at peace. It was not good for me, and I knew I needed to be, living a life that I wanted to live, living a life that I enjoyed, and it was not putting me any joy into me, and just I just knew it had to go.
I love those questions that you gave us at the beginning that your coach gave you. Like, what's keeping you up at night?
Yes,
That's a big
that
one.
that was a big one for me.
Mhm.
It sort of changed
Yeah.
all. Uh, it changed, like where Kevin just walked in.
I love it. I think that's good. Well, I have another question in closing for you. You had said something about the women in your community and how you serve them. And I know that many of our listeners have a heart for gathering others, but you mentioned about creating a safe space for women to gather. And so if we have some women who are listening, and men too, that are like, I want to create a safe space for my friends to gather, and maybe we set our goals together, hold each other accountable, doing a vision board, or even working through the contentment journal. How have you created a safe space for the women in your community?
Well, I don't have fear. I don't know if that's something that I've heard that some people in certain businesses, like maybe salespeople or realtor, like certain people don't have like their meter, their fear meter isn't there, and I don't think that I have one that's there. So I just made a Facebook post that said, um, "Who wants to work out with me at 8 a.m. and then we'll go have coffee after, and we'll just girl talk." And I had like 7 ladies show up, and then we went to the cutest little coffee shop that our town just got, 2 of the cutest new little coffee shops, and we went and had coffee, and we talked for 2 hours, and it gathered them, and I knew they needed it. Now, did I need it? No, I didn't need it. I had a lot to do, as a matter of fact, but I knew that God was speaking to me to say, when you needed people in the past, I sent women into your life that spoke into your life. And I think back about all these ladies that took the time to speak into my life. And I just knew God was saying, do that. And so right then and there, the moment that I felt it, that's why I'm saying, I didn't have to think about it, pray. I was just like, okay, God, I'm going to make a post. Who wants to work out with me? And then we'll have coffee. And you saw what I'm saying, that there were 7 women that needed to have a girl time, that needed to just go and just talk. And some it was about issues they were having with hormones, or we were all in different seasons in our life. And I had a lady that had been through breast cancer, and she was speaking into the life of another lady that was going to have appointments for things. So it was just, I knew God put me in that position at that time and gave me that night, so that would happen on that Saturday morning. And so it's just something I've continued to do. I'm just like, who wants to work out at 8 a.m. on Saturday morning? And I'm calling it holiday hustle, because we've got to make time for ourselves through the holidays and stuff. So that's what I called that. And then we'll have a new year. I just like, I don't know. Anyway, I just
Yeah.
just go and gather them. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
just
I
do
think
it. Don't
and
think,
that's
do it.
right. I love that was just a simple ask, Denise, because how many women will have it on their heart? And it's like, if it's already on your heart, all you have to do is ask, like take the step of obedience and
Yes.
ask.
Yes.
And I love that you said that, that women have done that for you in the past. And that was what you did for me, Denise. Matt and I were newlyweds. We were living in a small town that I didn't know anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a really rough patch of learning how to be newlyweds. And God totally sent me to, I had to drive an hour further every single week, you guys, to be in her space, but I didn't care. I was like, I don't know anyone. I needed someone. And it was incredible how you mentored me as a wife, as a mom, as a businesswoman, and spoke such life into me in a season when I thought, I don't know where I am or why I'm here, but I am here.
Here we go.
And it
And,
has made such a difference.
well, and you've done that for me. Isn't that so funny how just the way that you are, and the way that you speak, and the way that you love people? it makes me want to be that better person because my personality's a little harder. I can't, like a little, not as soft, I guess, and not as huggy. I don't know, but you make me want to be a little bit more, be a little bit better, be a little
Thanks,
bit.
friend. Thanks. That's why we're better together. It's why we're better together.
We are.
So, all right, Denise, last question. What would you share with all of us? What would you tell your 10-year-old self? And what would you tell all of us as we're walking into this new year and we want to have that contentment and peace that you have? What advice would you give us?
Oh my gosh, I've been thinking about that, and that one's hard. That's been something like, what's the one thing to say? I mean, there's a lot that I would love to say, having different seasons of my life that I've been through. I don't know, it's, struggling with finances, struggling with fitness. I just know that whatever it is that whoever's listening to this, if you've got something that you're struggling with, give it to God. Okay. Give it all to God. Take him as your partner throughout that journey and through that struggle. Take him with you. Don't try to do it on your own. Take him with you. But lots of things are coming to my mind right now. I have so much more I want to say, but it's okay. But take him as your partner, take him as any kind of partner through that with you, and just rely on him to help get you through whatever it is your struggle.
Thank you. And that's really what you've done, and what your story is a beautiful evidence of, is walking through a very interesting last 10 years and knowing that he's been by your side and you've leaned into him and his discernment and his Holy Spirit. And on the other side of this has been peace. And so thank you for sharing your story with us. And thank you for sharing all about contentment and peace with us.
Thank you for having me. I love you.
You're welcome. Love you. Thank you for joining me on this journey of restoration and renewal. Remember, you can stay connected with me between episodes by following me on Instagram. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to ensure you never miss an episode. And if you found value in our conversation today, I'd truly appreciate it if you leave a review on your favorite podcast platform or share the show with a friend who might benefit from these rhythms. Until next time, may you find peace in knowing that you can show up every day simply as you are. And that is enough. Take care.